Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya Madhyamām Asmadacharyaparyantām Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidparam Sadgurum Brahma Vidparam. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadyainim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramो Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samakah Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam na vidusura suraganah Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha. Hari. Bhagavan Sri Krishna presented various arguments from the philosophical standpoint in verses 12 to 30, from the ethical standpoint from verses 31, 32, and 33, and then worldly standpoint was taken up in verses 34 to 39 to convince Arjuna that he should fight this righteous war. And earlier in verses 34 and 35, we had seen how running away from the battlefield will earn the dishonor from people who held him in high esteem. And great warriors will ridicule him, saying that he ran away due to fear. And we continued in the last class. Avachya vadamsya bahun vadishyanti tavahitah nindantastav samartyam tato dukkataram nukim. Hey Arjuna, your enemies will say unspeakable words. They will criticize, belittle you, your ability. What is more powerful than such dishonor? Ego is a powerful tool for a Kshatriya. So, Bhagavan uses this weakness to goad Arjuna to fight this war. Now, Hato va prapsase swargam jitva va bhokshase mahi tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nischaya. I tell you, if you are killed in the battle, you will certainly get Veeraswarga. And then again, if you were to win this war, you will get back your kingdom. So it's a gain either way. So Arjuna, get up, determined to fight. So after presenting all these arguments as to why he should fight the war, Bhagavan now gives advice to him on how to fight the war. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labhalabhau jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papamavapsyasi. Learn to keep your mind in balance, in joy and sorrow, in success and failure. Then get ready to do your duty. And in this context, the duty is to fight this battle. Doing that, you will not incur any sin. So this verse and the next verse, 39, are transition verses. In verse 39, he says, is from Jnana Yoga to Karma Yoga. And he says, Yeta devi hita sankhye buddhir-yoge tvamam shrunu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Hey Partha, until now I gave you the self-knowledge, the jnana, atma jnana. I will now switch to karma yoga. So listen up. Verse 40. Neha bhikramanashosti, neha bhikramanashosti, pratyavayo na vidyate, pratyavayo na vidyate, swalpamapyasya dharmasya, swalpamapyasya dharmasya, trayate mahato bhayat. त्रायते महतो भयात् नेहाभिक्रमणाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. In these verses, Bhagavan will be glorifying Karma Yoga. He has not yet clearly defined what Karma Yoga and all that. But first he's going to praise it. He's going to market it first. And then he will sell the product. What exactly it is, he will talk about it and we will see all that later. But here Bhagavan says, Iha abhikrama nashaha nasti. Iha refers to, in this context, Karma Yoga. Here, krama means sequence. Whenever we talk about some karma, some action, in secular actions, there is a sequence that needs to be followed to get the desired result. For example, if you want to raise a crop, you have to prepare the soil, fertilize it, plant the seed, water the crop, protect it from insects and pests for some time, and finally harvest the crop. If you don't follow this sequence, you will not get the desired result. So in most actions, this kind of a krama sequence, steps are there to be followed. But in Karma Yoga, there is no such requirement. Karma Yoga is a question of attitude, not the action per se. So in Karma Yoga, there is no such thing as failure. Karma Yogi never feels that he has failed in his life. Because even if he is a failure from the worldly angle, He might have lost a job, incurred loss in business, his wife divorced him, whatever. The world may say he's a failure. But a karma yogi is going to look from his standpoint of lessons learned from such experiences. Since he feels that such lessons are valid and very important, while the world may say he's a failure, he says, I have gained a lot of inner growth. So I consider that a success. Now, abhikrama nashaha means failure. So abhikrama nashaha nasti means there is no failure. Therefore, a karma yogi does not know failure. Then pratyavayaha na vidyate. Pratyavaya means adverse results. From material angle, any action can have positive results, or it can have negative or adverse results. When I do a business, if I get a profit in it, it's a positive result. If I lose money, it's an adverse result. If I incur a loss, when I am sick and I take a medicine, my sickness goes away. That's a positive result. Now, sometimes cure is not there. I continue to be sick, or I get some other sickness. I took the pill for headache, but I got my stomach upset. Side effects are there. That's called pratyavaya. So, from material standpoints, actions can have positive and negative results. For a spiritual person, action have only positive results because from every experience, a karma yogi learns. I took music lessons for 6 years. 6 years. And learned a very valuable lesson. What is that? I cannot sing. At least from now on, I will not disturb others. So any experience you can interpret positively and grow from there. This is what Puja Gurudev calls it. Building a castle with bricks thrown at you. Hence, pratyavaya na vidyate. There are no adverse results. Further, swalpamapyasya dharmasya. Here, dharma means karma, karma yoga. Even if one practices karma yoga only, swalpam, to a limited extent, to that extent he will get proportional result. In case you are seeking material results, you have to complete the entire action, complete the action fully. That's a normal rule. Suppose I dig a well to get water, and I dug 10 feet. Suppose the water table is 20 feet below the ground level. After digging 10 feet, can I get 50% of the water? It doesn't work that way. You have to dig the entire 20 feet. On the other hand, the case of karma yoga, whether the action is completed or not, inner growth takes place, regardless of the extent of completion. So, desire prompted actions produce results only when completed, whereas selfless action will always produce positive results with inner growth, regardless of material results and the extent of completion. Not only that, trayate mahato bhayat means he is protected from the great fear. Mahat bhaya. Great fear called samsara. From that he is saved. Therefore, Arjuna, be a karma yogi. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाकाह्यनन्ताश्च बहुशाकाह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम् बुद्धहेयो व्यवसायिनां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाकाह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्. A little typo here. Buddhayo vyavasayinam. One of the problems that we face while we read our scriptures is that there are countless number of spiritual practices that are prescribed. Unlike other religions that appear to be very simple, really simplistic. They just give you a list of a few commandments. So it appears less complicated. When we read our scriptures, they seem to be very complex. For one thing, scriptures themselves are so voluminous. The four Vedas, then there are the Itihasas, 18 Puranas, and then there are commentaries on them, and sub-commentaries are there. And in all of them, varieties of sadhanas are given. So many spiritual practices. Puja, japa, meditation, bhajans, pilgrimage, etc., etc. They're all there. With all that, we don't know what we are supposed to do. We are so confused as to what we should do. If you have to successfully pursue spirituality, we should have a very clear idea of every sadhana and its role. If we do not know how to use a sadhana, we will abuse it. So Bhagavan says that a karma yogi has a very clear understanding of the sadhanas he has to practice. He has sadhya, sadhana, vishaya, nischaya, jnanam. He has clarity regarding the means and the end. And even in them, there are intermediary goals. Sub-goals are there, as well as the final goal. See, I am going to go this weekend. I'm going to leave for the US. From Ernakulam, I'm heading to Washington. All right? But that's the final destination. That's the goal. But I'm going to take a flight out of Chennai. So first I have to get from Ernakulam to Chennai. And there also train, which I'm going to do, or I can fly. And to go to the train station or the airport, I need a ride. So all these are goals. And finally, even in Chennai, I'm going to stay there a couple of days. So from wherever I'm staying, I need to get to the airport. I can have somebody drop me, or I can take Uber or metro, what have you. So many intermediate goals are there. I need to know all that, plan it, and then the journey will be smooth. So what is the intermediate goal? What is the middle goal? What is the final goal? This kind of clarity has to be there. This is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Clarity as to what I want in life. You ask this question, what do you want in life? Many will just scratch their heads and say, I really don't know. One must have a clear understanding of what one wants. What is that? Bhagavan does not say here, but the final goal is freedom. Whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, everyone is working for freedom. Freedom is happiness. Limitation, restriction, constraints, or sorrow. Even a little child holds on to the mother's hands only till he is able to walk and run. As soon as the child is able to do that, it drops the mother's hold and takes off. From then on, it's the mother who has to run after the child. Her freedom is lost. That's a different story. Here, freedom does not mean just the external freedom to run away, the inner freedom. I should be happy with myself without dependence on anything other than me. He said, Sarvam Paravasham Dukkham. Sarvam Atmavasham Sukham. Paravasham, external dependence. Dukkham, sorrow. Atmavasham, self-dependence. Sukham, happiness. So my goal is freedom. So the next question becomes, how to get that freedom? What's the means? Karma Yogi has studied and analyzed enough, and he has recognized this fact, and that the freedom is already natural to me. It's my swabhava. Just that I have not claimed it. And he knows that jnanam is the sadhanam for the discovery of that freedom. So freedom is the goal and jnanam is the means. Then he recognizes for that jnanam, I need a prepared mind. Even for secular sciences, proper preparations are a must. Prerequisites are there. Entrance exams are there. College admissions require SAT, ACT. Graduate school requires GRE, GMAT, MCAT, LSAT, all. So many. An aspiring student has to have all those prerequisites even to get admission into school. Self-knowledge, of course, requires tremendous preparation. Are you ready? Are you fit? This is what we call jnana yogyata, eligibility for knowledge. Ultimate goal is freedom. For that, I need jnana. For that, I need jnana yogyata. How do I get that jnana yogyata? That fitness, eligibility. That only Bhagwan gives karma yoga. Karma yoga consisting of varieties of action. Details we'll see later. So karma yoga gives jnana yogyata. Take the path of karma yoga, get the jnana yogyata, gain jnana, discover your inner freedom. Whatever I do, puja, japa, meditations, bhajans, kirtans, pilgrimage, and any spiritual practice that I do, that is all karma yoga. And that is meant for purification of mind. If you understand this, there is no confusion. Karma yogi knows where he is now, and he knows where he has to go and how he has to go there. This is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. This understanding, Eka, it is one. It is unchanging. Even if somebody comes up and tells something different, he won't get confused. Most other people who are not karma yogis, they have no idea about spirituality. They do not know why they are observing the religious practices. So Bhagavan says, avyavasayinam, those who do not have this clarity regarding the means and the end. Bahushakah, many branches. They listen to so many different people, so many gurus, do all sorts of things. They do bhajans, then they practice Kundalini Yoga, later they study Gita. Like that, they keep jumping from one to the next. They just get confused ad infinitum. They may even end up totally disillusioned and become atheists also. They start blaming the religion. Religion is not the problem. Problem is with your understanding. Sports, driving a car, computer learning, everything needs education and training. Without any training, we jump into religion. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna criticizes such people. Bahushakaha. Not only many branched notions, he anantascha. Indeed, countless notions they have regarding God, world, karma, life, puja, dress, food. Because the basics are not clear. Without proper spiritual education and training, people struggle. What happens to such people is said in the next 3 verses. So we'll read them together because I have to take words from one, put it in the other to complete sentences. 42, 43, and 44, we will read together. Yamimam pushpitam vacham. Yamimam pushpitam vacham. Pravadantya vipaschitah. Pravadyanta vipaschitah. Vedavadarataः partha. Vedavadarataः partha. Nanyadastiti vadinah. नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानस्वर्गपराः कामात्मानस्वर्गपराः जन्मकर्मफलप्रदाम् क्रियाविशेषबहुलाम् क्रियाविशेषबहुलाम् भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहृतचेतसां तया प्रहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समादौ न विधीयते together yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschitah vedavadarataः partha nanyadastiti vadinah कामात्मानस्वर्गपराः जन्मकर्मफलप्रदाम् क्रियाविशेषबहुलाम् भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः samadau na vidhiyate. So in these three verses, Bhagavan strongly criticizes those confused people who do not have clarity regarding the ultimate goal. Those who are not karma yogis, we can call them just karmis, just doers of action. To understand these three verses, we need a little bit of a background. So I'll briefly mention that here. Later, in the 17th chapter, Bhagavan divides all the human activities into three types. They are known as Sattvika Karmani, Rajasika Karmani, and Tamasika Karmani. Bhagavan defines Sattvika Karmas as those actions that will benefit maximum number of people. And such actions can be called selfless actions. Those actions take into account the welfare and well-being of other people. That's the first type. The second type of action, Rajasika Karma, is purely individual-oriented, self-centered. The person is not concerned about anybody else, whether they are harmed or benefited. He is only interested in his own personal benefit. These are selfish actions. The third type of action is Tamasika Karma. In that type of karma, the person is not only self-centered, but for the sake of fulfilling selfish ends, he does not mind even harming others. They are cruel, wicked. They take to such actions and hurt others. So we can divide all actions into selfless, selfish, and harmful actions. In terms of growth of an individual, what are the consequences of these three actions? Scriptures point out that Sattvika karmas contribute primarily to inner growth. The primary benefit of Sattvika karmas is the inner growth, which you can call as the purity of mind. Or as I mentioned, Jnana Yogyata. The Sattvika karmas may also produce other outer benefits, material benefits also, but they are all secondary. Primarily, they produce inner growth. As a byproduct, they may provide material benefits. Then Rajasic karmas may also contribute to a growth of a person, albeit very limited. So the mix is different. The Rajasic karmas primarily contribute to outer material prosperity. He will be able to accomplish a lot in the worldly sense, but only very little spiritually. It's a slow growth, not accelerated growth in spirituality. The third type, Tamasika karmas, may give material benefits to that person, but it harms others. As he is getting personal, one may gain material things through corruption, through scams, through violence, by cheating, various illegal and immoral activities. But such actions provide no inner growth. Instead, they pull a person down spiritually. He does not grow, but he destroys himself. So the first point we should remember is that Sattvika karmas grow a person's. Rajasika karmas provide a little inner growth, and Tamasika karmas retard any growth. And the second important point is that real peace and happiness of a person primarily depends on the inner growth. That alone, not external material prosperity. No doubt material wealth will give comforts and joy. The primary contribution to peace and happiness is from the inner growth alone. The internal growth is stunted. The external prosperity cannot give lasting peace and joy. The inner growth is there. Whether the external things are there or not, person can enjoy peace and freedom. This is the basic principle espoused in Karma Yoga teachings. Keeping these lessons in mind, in these three verses, Bhagavan strongly criticizes those people who are committed to Rajasika karmas, those who are interested mainly in their personal benefits, and that too material benefits. They do not care about any other thing. Such selfish people are criticized strongly. Bhagavan does not talk about tamasika karmas, but it is easily understood in light of criticism of rajasika karmas. If that itself is bad, how can tamasika karmas be any better? They have to be worse. Now, as I said, we have to take words from different places in these verses and rearrange for easier understanding. First is the criticism of selfish people. Who are they? Verse 42, first line, last word. Avipaschitah. They are unintelligent people, indiscriminate people. They want to acquire more and more, spend more and more. They are indulgent people, thinking that material accomplishments alone makes life successful is being indiscriminate, ignorant, unintelligent. They think wealth, power, material prosperity is everything. That's not the right thinking. It's not proper discrimination. Such a notion is aviveka. The conclusion of Gita is material accomplishments alone cannot give your final results, parama purushartha. And even in worldly things, see, money can buy bed, but money cannot buy sleep. Money can buy food, but money cannot buy appetite. Money can buy people, but not love. Like that, money can buy so many things. But there are more important things that money cannot buy. If you do not understand this, then that person is avipaschitah, avivekah, lacking discrimination. So those people think artha kama are the ultimate pursuits in life. Totally forgotten about dharma and moksha. Then the next criticism is that Krishna levels against such people rathah in the Vedas, especially in the Karma Kanda. So many rituals are prescribed for material ends, material goals. Vedas themselves prescribe many rituals. So it is clear that material needs may be fulfilled. Vedas are not against material accomplishments. What Vedas also totally dedicated to such achievements alone. Same Vedas talk about emotional growth, intellectual growth, spiritual growth. The materialistic people, the selfish people, they do not read those portions of the Vedas. They just pick and choose. They just do the Karma Kanda portion. They are committed to materialistic pursuits. Vedavada rataha means Rajasika karma rataha. They revel in it. Sakama karma rataha. Those who revel in Rajasic activities, selfish actions. Then na anyat asti iti vadinah. Then they say that there is nothing else. And when we talk about nobler things in life, about morality, ethics, God, scriptures, religion, service to others, such other topics, they're not interested in any other. They say, forget about it. They consider life is only to eat, drink, and be merry. No anyat shreyah vedayante pramudaha. The Upanishad uses stronger words, pramudaha, extremely foolish people. These foolish people do not know any better. The next description is kamatmanah from verse 43. They are the embodiment of materialistic desires, physical pleasures, sensory pleasures. The shopping list never ends. The list keeps growing. And more items are added as they go shopping. The only shop they get what they came in for is the drugstore for the prescription drugs. But even that is changing now with all the commercials for pharmaceuticals that you see for prescription drugs also. Patients are asking doctors for drugs advertised on TV. Anyway, what Bhagavan criticizes here is not the pleasures themselves. What is criticized is giving undue importance to the sense pleasures at the expense of inner and spiritual growth. That is why he uses the word kamatmanah. Imagine taking all the sensory pleasures and give it a body and hands and legs. That's it. That is what these people are. The very embodiment of all that. Sensory pleasures personified are those people. They have a long list of what should be done. What all should be achieved? What is your ambition? It's a long list. Even by mistake, dharma will not be included in that. Moksha, no way. In that list, what will be right on top? Swarga parah. For them, the heaven is the ultimate goal. If this world and pleasures here, they want to go to heaven to enjoy even greater pleasures. And Vedas have beautiful descriptions about heaven. So they want to go there, enjoy that world. So what do? Again, come back to verse 42, first line. Pravadanti. Not only are they materialistic, they spread their philosophy to everyone. Always materialistic philosophy is attractive. Even if you are a little bit religious, constant association with such people, that person, our intention maybe to convert him. But in the process, we will get converted. And they are so very convincing. Materialism means Maya. Maya is more attractive than Brahman. Materialism is always more attractive than spirituality. Materialistic people will say, why do you go to Gita class now itself? You are too young for all that. There's plenty of time. Enjoy your time now. So these people spread their philosophy. Just like businesses advertise, these people spread their materialistic messages. What type of talk do they give? Bhagwan Krishna gives the description of the speech of those selfish materialistic people so that we will be forewarned, so you can avoid friendship with such people. If you have a friend who is too much materialistic, unknowingly you will be drawn to such philosophy. So Bhagwan says, Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. That speech is very flowery, eloquent, sweet, persuasive, attractive, convincing, tempting, seductive. Like all those commercials on TV. In verse 43, second line, Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Vacham Pravadanti. They talk about varieties of projects. You take up this project, little or no expenditure at all, and you'll get this much revenue. It's all profits. And if you invest the profits here, it will give so much return. They'll keep on talking endlessly about a varieties of actions. In the Vedic parlance, it may be a variety of rituals. In today's language, various business ideas, startups, deals. Ultimately, what's the casualty? Spiritual studies. Why? No time. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam. So many activities in a day. They will lead to, now go to verse 43, first line, the last word. Janma Karma Phala Pradam. They do not know one action will lead to another action, and that to another action, and so on and so forth. Kamanya kamayate manyamanaha sakama vijayate tatra tatra. Upanishad says that. People who are full of desires, they are born here and there for the fulfillment of those desires. You get into this whirlpool of actions. They do not know how to get out. Then what happens? He dies and gets born again. Again, he goes through the same routine to be stuck in this endless cycle of birth and death. Gita does not say do not get into action. It says learn how to get out. Get involved, dedicate yourself in higher pursuits. That's why we have 4 ashramas. After being a householder for some years, get out. Grow and get out. If I get out myself, it is victory. If Yama pulls me out, it will be misery. They do not know all that. So, Janma Karma Phala Pradam Vacham. They speak of only such activities that lead a person from action to action, from birth to birth. That represents only the finite and the mortal. All these are meant for what? They do not present these activities for the purity of mind. If they prescribe these activities for mental purity, they are sattvika karmas. These selfish people never prescribe anything. Even if they prescribe some religious action, it is only for material profit. So Bhagavan says, Bhoga Aishwarya Gatim Prati. Bhoga, which means Kama Purushartha, for enjoyment. The other is Aishwarya Artha Purushartha. So Bhoga Aishwarya means Kama Artha, pleasures and wealth. Other only goals. What will happen to them? Bhagavan further criticizes them in the 44th verse. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam. Not only do they talk about Arthakama for others, they are totally involved in, totally attached to Arthakama alone. Prasaktaha means they are totally attached, and they are attached to such an extent that they are Taya Apahrita Chetasam. They find that they cannot fulfill their desires by the right methods. Time comes when the desires are so compelling and I do not have legitimate ways to satisfy them. So I resort to illegal methods. All kinds of evil activities start. Taya apahrita chetasam. By such actions, mind is robbed. Sense of consciousness, sense of discrimination, sense of propriety, sense of honesty, justice, all of them go away. For such people, vyavasayatmika buddhihi na vidyate. Do not have clarity of thinking. They do not have clear priorities in life. They are not sure about the goals of life. They do not have clear thinking in samadhau. Here the word samadhi means the mind. Such kinds of desires in their mind, thought of doing some selfless service, puja, japa, meditation does not even come. By chance they decide to sit for meditation, will the mind be in it? Sitting quietly, the mind will be thinking of. In their mind or in their intellect, there is no clear thinking at all. This is beautifully described in these verses. So Bhagavan criticized selfish materialistic people who can never become karma yogi. In the 45th verse, Bhagavan gives the basic principle of karma yoga. He lays the foundation for karma yoga. How a karma yogi looks at his life and his goals in life. Now, who can become a karma yogi? So we will take that next, the next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.